In costume dramas, scenes of tea drinking are commonly seen, and so is the fact that Chinese Asians do love tea. So, what's the ancient understanding about tea and health? Let's begin our study.
Zhu Bian, an official and literati of Northern Song Dynasty, once said in his book, 曲玉旧文, tea will be served when guests arrive. Soup will be set up for them to leave. I don't know when this began. However, from the governments to villages, nobody abandons it. This shows that the custom of treating guests with tea has been very popular in China since the Song Dynasty. Nowadays, when we entertain guests, we usually make them a cup of good tea. But is tea just a drink? When we look up the relevant Asian books with this question, we find out the ancient Chinese have used tea as a kind of medicine for a long time, which can be called a brilliant flower of Chinese tea culture. It can be seen that ancient Chinese people have long associated tea with health. When did people first realize that tea is related to health? First of all, let's get to know something about a man, Shen Long, the leader of ancient Chinese tribal aliens. It is said that his belly is transparent, so people can see the reaction of various plants in it. In this way, it can be told that what plants can be eaten and what plants can't. He tasted all kinds of herbs to identify the effects of drugs. One day, when Shenlong was tasting different kinds of herbs, he was poisoned when trying one called golden green rolling beads. He happened to fall under a tea tree. The dew on the tea leaves flowed into his mouth and made him wake up and be saved. The story was recorded in Shenlong Benqiao Jing, the earliest extant pharmaceutical monograph in China. When Shenlong tasted 100 herbs, he encountered 22 poisons a day and got tea to relieve them. This is also the widely spread legend of Shenlong tasting hundreds of herbs. Although it sounds magical and overstated, it undoubtedly reflects an objective fact. As early as Shenlong's time, Chinese ancestors had discovered that tea can detoxify hundreds of poisons. That is to say, when tea, a magical species, was discovered, it began to be used as medicine. Then, when was the age of Shenlong? According to Zhuangzi, 道拓篇, the word of Shenlong, only the mothers were known, but not the fathers. This shows that the age of Shenlong is the matriarchal clean stage of Chinese primitive society. According to the archaeological research, this stage is somehow equivalent to the late Paleolithic to Neolithic age, with a history of more than 5,000 to 6,000 years. Therefore, the history of tea used as medicine in China has been at least 5,000 or 6,000 years. After Shenlong, from the Qing dynasty to the Han dynasty, the medical function of tea has been recognized continuously. Shenlong Benqiao Jing, which was quoted earlier, was written under the name of Shenlong and was actually finished in the Han Dynasty about 200 BC. The book made it clear tea tastes bitter. Drinking tea makes people think more, rest less, lighten their bodies, and improve their eyesight. Additionally, in the book written by Zhang Zhongjing, a famous doctor in Eastern Han Dynasty, 伤寒杂病论, it also recorded that tea is very effective in treating hypotaxia. By the time of Wei Jin Southern and Northern Song dynasties and Sui dynasty, the trend of tea drinking began to appear. However, at that time, tea was still a luxury consumer goods of noble landlords, which was not popular among the common people. At the same time, in terms of its main use, tea was still used as a drug. Hua Tuo, a famous doctor of the Three Kingdoms, wrote, "It is good for thinking to drink bitter tea for a long time." His treatise points out that tea has the effect of refreshing. Later, Tao Hongjing, a famous doctor of Liang dynasty, also said in 本草经集注, drinking tea for a long time can make one's body light. It shows that tea has the function of strengthening health and prolonging life. In addition to the medical classics, the medicinal use of tea is also recorded in other historical books of this period. For example, Volume 65 of Jin Shu says that an eminent monk of Eastern Han Dynasty named Shan Daokai only drink 1 or 2 liters of tea, which can cure eye diseases. It's very effective. In addition, according to Sui Shu, Emperor Wen got sick and called famous doctors all over the world to treat him. All the medicines were ineffective. Later, he was cured after drinking tea. Although it is somehow with exaggeration, it does reflect that the medicinal function of tea was recognized and utilized at that time. At that time, tea was officially included as a kind of medicine in a series of official and private pharmacopoeia books. In addition, Cha Jing, the first extant tea book in China, compiled by Lu Yu, the tea sage, also recorded and explained the medicinal functions of tea. Moreover, in the novels and notes of many writers, there are many descriptions about this aspect. In addition, the medicinal function of tea is also introduced in the foreign historical books, which recorded the Chinese customs and habits in this period. In the Tang and Song dynasties, the medicinal status of tea was definitely high. This is also an important manifestation of the development of people's understanding and utilization of tea. Chen Zhangqi of Tang Dynasty wrote in 本草释疑, different kinds of medicines are for different kinds of diseases. However, tea is medicine for all kinds of diseases. In Song Dynasty, people thought that tea is medicine. And Shu Shi, a great writer, once wrote a poem, "I don't need a pill of medicine from the Wei Emperor, just to drink 7 bowls of tea from Lu Tong." In his opinion, 7 bowls of tea is more effective than 1 pill.
In the process of using tea to treat diseases, people also realized that in order to make tea to play a better role in drug performance, some other herbal medicines can be mixed with it. This discovery created a new situation in the development of medicinal tea, making a large number of medicinal tea prescriptions appear. According to the incomplete statistics of some scholars, there were more than 50 kinds of herbal tea prescriptions in this period.
Through the investigation of various literature, it is found that the efficiency of tea realized by the ancients mainly included the following aspects: refreshing minds and relieving vexation, helping digestion and removing greasiness, clearing away heat and poisonous material, protecting tooth, and improving eyesight. China has a long history of understanding and utilizing the medical function of tea. Moreover, this kind of understanding is extremely profound, and its use is also extremely extensive. To be sure, China is the first country in the world to discover and utilize the medicinal effects of tea. In the long-term practice, the ancient Chinese accumulated and summed up a wealth of knowledge and experience. Now, as an important treasure of Chinese culture, this knowledge and experience will be forever recorded in the annals of history and will be carried forward to the benefit of mankind.
Today, we have learned the ancient Chinese understanding of tea and health. After class, please find out an ancient poem about tea and share it in the discussion area. See you guys.